We're back here on the program, the platform, in this final segment of our program, and we are talking about the abuse of the court process, dealing with civil matters, dealing with these matters that we call judicial reviews, and these matters that frustrate the government of the Bahamas from doing what it wishes to do in granting title to land or in giving permission for, in the case of Peter Nygaard, to rebuild his house that was destroyed by fire. And I have spoken to one or two people from Save the Bays who claim that they have no difficulty whatsoever in Mr. Nygaard rebuilding his house. But that is not what Louis Bacon wants.
That's damn if you do, damn if you don't. As long as they associate themselves with Louis Bacon, who is the CEO of Save the Bays, they are saying to me they don't want Mr. Nygaard to get the permit to rebuild, because that is what they stand for. They wrote it, they put it in the papers, everything. I'm not making this up.
This enmity, why? How did this all begin? Because
Mr. Bacon is a master race thinker. He thinks that he's better than everyone, and Mr. Nygaard met him there. Type attitude. That's what's going on.
And he has a difficulty with people who are invited to Nygaard Key.
Oh, he has the most difficulty with that, because he feels,
and they are neighbors. And so
they live side by side. They ain't no neighbors.
They ain't no neighbors.
Mr. Nygaard is Mr. Bacon's neighbor, but Mr. Bacon is not Mr. Nygaard's neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can share this much. Mr. Bacon is a Republican conservative American from the South. Mr. Nygaard came to Canada with his parents from Finland. He used to work hard from he was a child. You know, you've heard the story. And so, you remember the story Mr. Nygaard told you on one of your shows about having a friend, a Chinese friend, and they used to go to the restaurant,
mm-hmm.
and just a friend. And the guy, the toaster was invented, and Peter saw him put the thing in, and he smelled the bread burning, and not burning, but toasting, and he was hungry. And the boy got the 2 slices of the toast and put butter and jam on them, and ran ahead right in front of Peter, and he ate it. And Peter said he was so hungry and he felt so bad, but he didn't beg the guy. But he said he always remembered that, and that's why he shares what he has, because he knows what it is to be without. Louis Bacon doesn't. You can't get compassion out of something that has no passion in the first place. If you're used to having things your way, you're used to. You know what makes me a good housekeeper, Mr. Jones? I put it to you this way. I had to iron my own clothes. I was greedy, so I had to learn to cook. And I didn't like beating, so I had to learn to sweep and mop and keep my room clean. I had no maid. I had no butler. That's who you're dealing with. Peter Nygaard identifies with the grassroots Bahamian. Because if you didn't know Peter Nygaard was not a Bahamian, you couldn't tell if you watch him sail a boat, shake the cowbells, dance the merengue, you know. And Believe it or not, Mr. Jones, I come to find that Louis Bacon is incapable of these feelings. He only feels for money and what money can do. To those in our community that believe money is everything, a good friend is better than money.
You know, what in all of this, what I don't understand is why he wishes to chase Nygard from where Nygard is. Why he doesn't want Nygard to be next to him.
One, there are two answers to that. He should come out leading from behind and come to the forefront and appear on the platform and explain his view. Don't let a lawyer explain your view. Like how Peter Nygard came here and explained his position to you. Well, if you care, if Louis Bacon cared about us so much, he would want to educate us. Let me share something with you, Mr. Bacon. In the name of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, in the name of our government that was instituted on July the 10th, 1973, please stop abusing our courts for your petty grievances. Leave Mr. Nygard alone because he is our friend and he does more for us than you would ever do with all of your money. And number three, if you don't like it here, if you don't like our government, then leave. So Lyndon Pinland had a saying, you're in this boat, you're in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. You need to cut bait or fish. If you ain't want to do that, bail out the boat. And if you ain't want to bail out the boat, get the hell out the boat. And that's what Sir Lyndon was saying. Bacon and his lawyers with all the hullabalooing, because they're lawyers, they're people. And everything that they spit out their mouth, somebody had to teach them. But morality cannot be taught. You either are moral or you're immoral. You could change from being moral to immoral.
You can be
and you can be immoral and become moral.
And you can be amoral too.
What is amoral?
What is amoral? That is that you have no morality whatsoever.
Well, I think that's the category what certain people might fit in. Because how could you come to the Bahamas where you know 85 to 90% of the people are black and don't want us to come through Lyford Key because you live there? That's what I'm feeling. We don't, you know, getting back to this Save the Bay situation. Mr. Jones, when I see Mr. Morse in the boat with all them people, no life jacket, telling people that Peter Nygard thief our land. We got a major crime problem in New Providence. He has sponsors for Bahamas Against Crime. How did he get in that? Money goes a long way. Let me say this to y'all, Bahamas. Y'all could say, yeah, Vivian, you getting paid too. But I want y'all to understand something. If I wanted a payday, I was approached by one of the attorneys who approached me and told me that the Clifton Key developers was offering me a few $1 million, a lot, build me a house, and a job for the rest of my life if I would just stop going on about the slaves. Yeah. So if I wanted money, I would have taken it then. But I took a stand to save our land, to protect Clifton. Now here it is. Clifton is protected, the Bay is protected, but the main person who wants and has been controlling Clifton for a long time, Louis Bacon, now wants the government to stop Peter Nygaard from rebuilding his house.
When you went to see him, and you said that you had a few meetings at his house, what was that about? What were you meeting him about? I mean, here it is, you met him, you went to his house, I believe you probably had dinner.
The Life and Key Property Owners Association is a tricky body. There are people who like to lead from behind. The only person, there are a couple of people in Life and Key that I can tell you. There was a gentleman who started Brief with his wife, Sir Nicholas and Lady Nuttall. They were genuine. They always were genuine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, Brief don't need Save the Base. Save the Base need Brief. But you don't see them dancing up with Save the Base because they know what Save the Base was all about. Controlling the access. Brief has just done a statue park in Clifton Heritage Park that makes it wonderfully well. To go out snorkeling, you could see some stuff. You go out there snorkeling, and you look at an hour or 2 hours gone up and you still got more to see, so you want to come back. That's development. Stopping people from doing this, stopping people from doing that, stopping people from getting their houses rebuilt, that's destruction. I could fondly say Louis Bacon is, for Peter Nygaard, the Scrooge of Christmas, because all he's doing is trying to ruin Peter's life, his children's life, and all the people who Mr. Nygaard helps, from the poorest to the richest.
How do you see this being resolved? Because I believe that people and members of the public are getting a little wary of this.
I'm wary of it.
Yes.
Mr. Louis Bacon, there's only one way out of this. Either apologize to our government, withdraw those lawsuits, or leave. Because that's going to happen anyway. Louis Bacon is a frenemy of the Bahamas. A person who appears to be a friend, but is your enemy.
A frenemy.
A frenemy. That's who he is.
That's a new one.
Well, welcome to Whylly's world. You know, I heard that somewhere before. It isn't from me. But it came to my mind because it tells me that any person who approaches you as though they were your friend, and then it turns out they're your enemy, is the most dangerous person you could ever meet. And that person is called a frenemy.
Vivian Whylly, on that note, we bring our program to a close. And I thank you so very much. You truly an activist, and you are about social justice.
Yeah.
That is pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Giving Peter Nygaard the social justice that he deserves.
Let your friend be your friend. And your frenemy, he always could be your enemy.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Mr.
All the
Jones.
best to you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for watching and listening to our program. Good evening, everyone.